Hey everybody, so I know this has been Rant Week. You know how they have Shark Week on the Discovery Channel? Well, this is Rant Week. Here's the story. Once upon a time, I was out of law school, moved to Washington, D.C., and I wanted to be on the radio. That was my dream. I wanted to be on the radio. More than anything else, that was the thing that I wanted. And every day on the way to my crummy, stupid job, I was out of law school, and this is a story for another time, but I was on the way to a job I just could not stand. I would drive past the Columbia School of Broadcasting, which you could have just renamed the Columbia School of We Will Take Anyone's Money, even if they're terrible. And one day I just decided I'm gonna walk into this place and I'm gonna just ask them if they can teach me what I need to do to be on the radio. I don't care what I have to talk about. I don't care if I'm doing records, but I think I want to have a talk show. I had nothing to say. I had no purpose being there. But what they did was they took me inside and they put me in a studio and they put me behind a microphone. And about every other word out of my mouth was and I was breathing heavily into the microphone. And I finished the session and the guy said, speechless. I did so badly, he didn't have anything to tell me. And usually what they do at that point is they take your money. They just say, would you give us $10,000 and you'll be in our next class? And the Columbia School of We Will Take Anyone's Money wouldn't even sign me up. They didn't even sign me up. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I don't want to even tell you the other part of the story because a particular family member who I spoke to that day said that wasn't that big of a surprise. And could I just now focus on making money like a responsible human being? And why did I go to law school? And it's not the lowest point in my life, but on the level of the lowest and worst I've ever felt, that was pretty close. And the point is that I thought in that moment, I thought, well, my dream is shattered. I say too much. I breathe into the microphone. They said I was supposed to breathe through my nose while I was talking. Like, that's not even possible, right? Unless you have gills. I don't even know. I still don't even know what that meant. And so I went on and I had a radio show and I had a podcast. I got kicked off of AM business talk radio in the United States for calling someone a body part, which I apologize for, but that was not enough. So I got kicked off the radio, and I still have the YouTube channel, I have the Facebook stuff, I have the podcast, I have all this other stuff in my life, and it came despite that experience. But I want to say something even more important. You think that success will come in spite of the naysayers and the challenges and the obstacles. But I think it's more than that. I think it's because of it. I think if you have it handed to you, or if the Columbia School of Broadcasting accepts you even though you're terrible and tells you what you want to hear and tells you exactly what they need to tell you in order to make you feel good and to gratify your vanity and make you feel special, then you don't get to hear the hard truth that you are terrible at something. And I have had, 10 conversations this week with people, folks on instant messaging or whatever else, who said, listen, cool, I understand the robots work for you, but what I really want to do is I want to trade the Iron Condor 3-soldier triple rainbow system on options. And boy, I spent $10,000 having, right, Marcus? I spent $10,000 having some guy who said that he made $1 million in one day. I gave him $10,000 and I really want to make that work first because he told me it was possible. And what did that guy tell him? He told him what they wanted to hear. Yeah. This industry is filled with people who are going to tell you what you want to hear. So hear me out. Most of you are terrible at trading. Most of you are never going to trade options successfully. Most of you are never going to trade futures successfully. Most of you are never going to trade Forex successfully. Most of you are breathing through your mouth and your nose at the same time, and I can hear you through the microphone. Most of you are just like me, not qualified to sit in front of a microphone at the Columbia School of Trading Broadcasting, right? And guess what that means? Nothing. Zero important. All that means is you're not very good right now, and you have to admit it. You have to put aside the vanity for a minute and not wait for people to tell you what you want to hear. Not only live your life and pursue your dreams if you feel comfortable along the way. If somebody comes up behind you and pats you on the head and said, "We love you, we know it's difficult." I wish somebody had pushed me on the ground when I started out and had my leg bleeding. I wish it had been 10 times more difficult for me when I started out. I did a whole bunch of business plans here this week. And one element of the business plan is, I'm afraid of how hard it is to manage people in my business. My friend Marcus must want to punch me in the mouth. Like, so what? So you're not very good at one particular kind of trading. If you're not, move on to the next kind that you could be good at. And if you're not very good at making $10,000 a month right now in trading, why not just make $1? I couldn't get on the radio at the Columbia School of Broadcasting, but I could buy a microphone. I could sit in front of a microphone at my computer. I could practice. You know, that was 2000, oh my gosh. That was 1998. That was I thought it was like, that was 10 years ago. That was 21 years ago. So that was 10 years before I even had a podcast. It took me 10 years from that point to feel comfortable in front of a microphone. And then years later, I've made, I don't know, $7 million trading or whatever it is, and $10 million in online business. I think it's probably 10 million. I don't even track it anymore. But it's probably that. All of it while talking into a microphone. Like all of it. All of it came because I wasn't afraid to speak in front of people. Because I became a better trader when I had to talk to you about trading. That's when I became a better trader, because I had to show what I was doing, and then when I was making mistakes, they were public. And then I didn't want to make those mistakes anymore, which is exactly the same point I was making just a minute ago, which is force yourself to do the things that are difficult and get feedback that's difficult for you to hear. When I post my live trading results and they're terrible, I have to admit to it and I have to change. Like, force yourself into doing the right thing because doing the wrong thing is embarrassing. Force yourself to correct your mistakes because mistakes are embarrassing. Don't try to run away from difficulty. Don't feel bad if it's embarrassing. Don't feel bad about any of that. Anyway, I love you. Next week, we'll do some technical analysis and all of that boring chart stuff that doesn't really matter anyway, because I know a bunch of you want to see that, and I love you all so much. Thanks for subscribing. If you watched all this week and you liked what you saw, and if any of it was helpful, and you think you want to trade robots together with me, it would be an honor and it would be a privilege if you would follow the link somewhere on this page, video, or whatever it is, above me, below me, or on the side, and book a demonstration. We'll show you the robot, we'll show you our live accounts, and you can see if it's right for you. If you don't want to do it, I don't care. You never have to buy anything from me, I don't care. But if you do think it might be right for you, and now's the time for you to have me and my team give you brutal feedback as you make mistakes so that you can get better, then book a call, because that's the right time to do it. Otherwise, I love you all. Have the best day ever. Thanks for listening to my rants this week, and we'll see you next time.